Oh. 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 Let's see if anybody shows up. Hey, good morning, Victoria. How you doing? Oh. Are you homeschooling today? Okay, you're doing all right, and you're homeschooling. Are you feeling a little better? Oh, in a bit. Okay. Well, I don't know how homeschooling goes. I mean, I guess some days you might start earlier, and some days you might start later. I don't know. Aren't you out? Aren't you kind of? Oh, you're still coughing. Aren't you in the West, kind of, or Midwest, if I remember correctly? Did you say Arizona? I think, or New Mexico? New Mexico. Okay, yeah, because I'd said I knew somebody in New Mexico also. At one time, I remember you. I was just trying to remember. I thought it was New Mexico because when you had told me before, I referred to knowing somebody there. Of course, I don't talk to them anymore. Anyway, I hadn't talked to them in a while. And then the last time I was on Facebook, I just kind of think I blocked them. Really don't know why. Anyway. But it was weird a few months ago. He had watched a video of mine. I don't know if it was Jesus calling or what, but he had commented, "This will be the last time I watch your videos." And I was like, I don't know. There was just something going on. He's somebody I've known for years, and he's been out in New Mexico for a long time. He's from Tennessee, like I am originally. But I think I just got tired of I had his phone number and stuff. We would communicate because we hadn't talked in years. And then we finally communicated again. And then he was a subscriber and he watched quite a bit. And he's a long-term person I've known. But I just noticed this. I noticed a pattern because, sometimes he'd be talking to me. And because I was talking about working on sobriety, even though I still stumble and I'm open about that, that I tend to sway here and there. And when I say sway, I'm just meaning talking about alcohol. That's the main issue that's the main thing that's been the most consistent issue with me when it comes to substances. And I've done a bunch of different things. I've had a lot of problems with all of it. But, alcohol was always the one that led to everything else. And I try my best to not partake of that. And occasionally, I do. But I'm just grateful that I'm not like I was. And any day that I don't have it is a lot better. Because I go long periods of time and don't, think about it. Yeah, I got to say I'm in a good place this morning. I'm glad you're here. Yesterday I had like on Saturday, I got out and I bought I really don't need to be eating stuff with sugar in it. Like when I sweeten stuff, I use artificial sweetener, but I get them cravings and I'll do what I don't need to be doing health-wise sometimes. I think a lot of us are that way. But I gorged down on cookies and some Laffy Taffy that night and I kind of, and I had some chips. I gorged out too much, and that upset my stomach. That's what threw me into a kind of Plus, I had a little bit of a sip that day, so that wasn't good. Mixing cookies, Laffy Taffy, and a little bit of, you know. Well, like I'm diabetic, so I'm really, I really shouldn't be eating anything sugary. And I've seen even like, I've seen a guy that I follow that is mainly a strict carnivore guy, crazy, like, but he talks about that even using artificial sweeteners triggers our brain. Like, even though it's not sugar, it causes our brain to want something sweet. So then we have a tendency to it's easier to fib and break the rule. Even if if I'm using artificial sweeteners, I'm still sending the same type of signals to my brain. There is a few artificial sweeteners I found to be that are somewhat more okay, but some of the ones that are the best are like kind of expensive. Like there's one called monk. Have you ever heard of it? Monk fruit. It's like, it's a natural sweet fruit, but it's supposed to be, and like it's supposed to be more like it doesn't do the same for a diet. Like it don't increase, I guess, your insulin levels or something, or it don't make you, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're not eating sugar, monk fruit is very sweet. It's a lot more sweet, but it doesn't react to the body the same. And I have bought it before. It's just, it's so expensive sometimes. Well, it is expensive, which trying to eat healthier all around is more expensive. But I learned I may spend a little more on healthier food and get a little less stuff. But if I'm sticking to that, stevia is not too bad either. I have seen, because it is natural. It's a natural occurring sweetener, and it don't. But there's something about, I don't know, the fact that I even do still, it's kind of ironic that when I want to sweeten my drinks, like a coffee or a tea, I use artificial sweetener, but then, I get to craving something like candy-wise, and I go and I buy a cheap candy because, when you're trying to get something that's with artificial sweetener, then it's even more expensive. And I just go and I just fib. But I don't, the thing is, I try not to beat myself up. So the nausea I felt Saturday evening or afternoon led me to I got overheated feeling. I took off I had a hoodie on or like a zip up. Took that off. I laid back, and then I ended up passing out for a while. And I woke up and I felt a little better. And then, like a dummy, I gorged out on what was left. Like I had a bag of chips. I mixed it. I had the munchies. I'll be honest with you. I've been smoking a little smoke, but you know that. You've seen me do that. But anyway, I'm just here seeing, I don't know if anybody else will show up, and it's not important. Like I like to think that it's not important how many people show up, it's who does arrive. And now sometimes especially with it, like I meant to try to get another phone. Oh gosh, I don't know, man. I'm getting so like the spirit keeps having to remind me not to be. I try not to take a lot of carbs. Like I don't buy a lot of breads. The only time I might buy bread is like for instance today, if I could get a ride to the store and I found some sandwich meat marked down, then I might buy some healthier bread to make sandwiches because it's something easy and simple. It's not like something I have to like, you know what I mean? I don't have to like cook it. But for the most part, even what you buy in a store that's considered healthier bread is not really that healthy because a lot of your like wheat product, it's still got like certain. The only way you're going to get probably the healthiest type of breads is if you were to get all organic flour yourself, I think, and stuff like that, and make it yourself. We've gotten so far away from doing, like, I don't know, like I say, we're so dependent on just thinking that food just comes from a store. We forget, or, I know it don't just come from a store, but it's easy to forget where the food really comes from, that somebody has to put some kind of effort into growing it or raising it or doing whatever. And then in the process of trying to put it out there in the mass production and send it to a store, they came up with all this stuff to add to a lot of things to try to make it last longer. And it's just like, that's cool. I remember you saying something about a garden back. If I remember correctly, you was talking about that months ago. Because I think you were telling me back, am I correct? I think back before it got a little cool and stuff, when I was doing them live streams pretty regular, you remember that? You would suggest to me about maybe I should start a garden or get, and yeah, I could. But anyway. So my point was, I appreciate you being here. And, I'm just happy to be able to say I'm happy. Isn't that a good feeling? Like when you're having a decent day, now the day ain't over. There's millions of things that could go in any direction. But I'm happy to be able to have gotten up this morning, and I'm just kind of going with what, I told myself yesterday, because what happened was yesterday morning, like between 4 or 5 in the morning when I got up, I'd been up several times in the night because, I'd gorged out. I drank a little, like I said, I'm not lying about that, but that mixed with the sugary stuff that, that wasn't good. And it'd been it'd been a week or two since I had gorged out or had anything like that. And the mixture, I knew better. Filling your stomach with a bunch of junk when it's used to, I mostly eat when it comes to certain, I eat certain vegetables. Sometimes like I keep onions pretty regular, like onions, and I don't eat a lot of potatoes or nothing. I don't buy them anymore, but like good potatoes and made right. And like carbs in a small amount can be all right. A few years ago when I really got serious about quitting drinking, and I was like within a few months of quitting, like having some good time behind me, I had started paying attention to my diet more too. And I was actually at one point eating mostly just meat with a very few carbs. I wasn't buying any breads. I was and I was really staying more strict about the sugar thing, that if I did have a craving, I would try to tide it over with something that was non-sugar when it came to like a snack or something. Or I tried to keep, like, because the more carbs you ingest, it'll create from what I understand, when you put too much in, it's like the body burns it up quick. You feel all good and for a minute, but then when it wears off, it keeps you feeling hungry even when you're not. Digestive issues, is he on carnivore? Is that what you mean? Or is he, now I was trying to attempt to go almost fully carnivore there for a minute. Like I said, I was down to where what I was eating was largely just meats and eggs, and then and then some vegetables. Like if I can, I like to have broccoli sometimes. I like it's just been, and I was doing better. Now, the only thing about carnivore is once you get to going on it, early on, it can cause people to, I've heard of people going to carnivore and then in the first few weeks, you'll have like digestive issues. Like you'll have like, diarrhea where your body's adjusting to just mainly consuming meat. But then after a period of time, it stops. But that's because your body's getting rid of a bunch of stuff that was in it too. I've done a lot of like watching this Dr. Baker on YouTube, and then I follow him on Twitter too. He's been on Joe Rogan and stuff. He's got a really cool, he's one of them people that in the medical field realize that the medical system and the way that doctors approach things nowadays is completely, it's not about trying to get to the root of the problem. It's all about patching something up and just keeping people on a lot of medicine. And then you just keep a cycle going where they just keep coming back a couple of times a year unless something's really bad. And they keep writing the prescriptions and the pharmacy gets, they're all making money. Where he just realized, he talks about, I think it was right before he was 50 or 50 or 5 or 6 years ago, whenever it was, he went fully carnivore. He lost a lot of weight. Now he's healthy. And he started approaching medicine in a different way as a doctor. But I figure, to me, is what works for anybody. Like personally, whoever, like if, it's like me. I try to avoid him. It's like last week I had that appointment on Monday and I had to cancel it, and I haven't ever called to reschedule it. It's about my back, but my back's leaking. And I'm keeping it patched up and making sure, all he's going to do is go in there and cut down into the pocket to try to keep. But once he does that, it's only a matter of months before I end up with another cyst. And it's something, he thinks it's part of something to do with my arthritis that I have. And he thinks also it might be, what'd he say? Well, I think it's got something to do with my original back surgery too. Because years ago, before I left North Carolina, I had been told, like finally they figured out what was going on, and doctor said that it looked like something that from the back surgery wasn't fusing right to one of the bones in the back. But anyway, that's neither here or there. And the guy, that did the surgery, because I owed like $800 or something, wouldn't see me anymore. It was just like a big deal. I should have went on through with the lawsuit I was going to take. But I don't want to talk about the past, really. Today is all we got. Somebody else keeps popping in and out, and I don't know if, I don't know who it is. Nobody else has chimed in here on the chat yet. But if they're still here, feel free to chime in on the chat. But it's me and Victoria right now. Yeah, but I keep seeing someone pop in and out. There was I think there was 2. It keeps going to 2, and then a minute ago it went to 3. I think there was 2 other. So someone's trying to connect, and they might be having trouble, or they've popped in and they didn't like what I was talking about. But I don't know. I'm grateful. Yeah, I'm grateful to be here. Grateful that anybody even takes the time to watch any of my videos, or it's not cold here today. It's like 50 maybe or something. It went cold last week. It started getting cold. I don't remember what day. And then at night, it was like at night it started, we were getting down in, first it was like the low 30s and then the 20s. And then one of the last nights that it was really cold, it got down to like 18 or 17. And that was about 3 or 4 days ago, about 3 days back. But then it warmed up a little. And then yesterday it wasn't too bad. And then it rained last night, and it's out. It's dreary and drizzly today. But, oh, it's not as cold as it was several days back. Like, there was a couple of them days that I was wishing I had a ride, and I definitely did not. I wasn't going to get out in that. It was cold enough that I didn't feel like there wasn't nothing I needed so bad that I was going to walk towards the town and anything. I was going to either get a ride or deal with what I have here, if it meant going to a store or something. Oh, so yeah. Okay, that's Keisha. Hey. Keisha, how you doing today? It's good to see you. Hadn't had you in the chat in a while. And of course, I'm not going live like I was. And I've explained myself. It's because I have unlimited data. But the phone that I bought last is a cheaper phone. And then that first month, I kept trying to go live and I couldn't go live on it. Not straight from the data. Now, if I had Wi-Fi here at the trailer, I could. South Dakota. Are the Lakota tribes from the Dakotas? Not Dakota tribe, but Lakota. I was trying to remember where the Lakota Indian tribes were, what states they were. I don't know. I was thinking it was South or North Dakota. I could be wrong because I used to have a friend years ago. Like, I don't know who. It was somebody on social media, but they were from somewhere that way. And they were Lakota Indian. And, we discussed culture and things like that. Well, I feel healthy today. Yesterday, I wasn't feeling that great. I was explaining that Saturday I had, I was just explaining to Victoria, I jumped out, and then I bought a couple of things that were not good for me food-wise, and I gorged out, and then got a little I got nauseous Saturday afternoon, and then I struggled through the night, not feeling all that great, and then early Saturday or Sunday morning yesterday, I ended up getting up in the middle, 4 or 5 in the morning. One of the last times I got up, I'd been having trouble, and I upchucked, and so then that kind of now I felt better after that, but it just made the morning I wasn't motivated and I wasn't feeling that great. Anytime I'm feeling like that, like stomach problems and stuff, and whether it be coming out either end, I don't mean to sound gross, but you know what I'm saying. But that was by me making a poor choice and eating, gorging out on a bunch of crap and stuff like that. So, our choices always have consequences, good or bad. I really don't know. I just, I didn't go live last week. What I was saying is, months back when I was experimenting with doing lives pretty regular and people were really starting to show up, there was several times sometimes I was getting, I was doing it off the old phone that the screen broke and everything, and I could do it just straight off my data, didn't have to have Wi-Fi, So that was the only issue. So now I have to use the main phone for the hotspot, turn that on, and then I have this old model phone that was a Boost. Now the screen's all cracked, but it's still a good phone. But I ain't going to take the time to try to get in touch with Boost and have them unlock it so that I can just turn it into a Verizon phone, because it seems easier just to wait till I can buy another phone of the same like. But I ain't, trying to just stay focused. It's like I noticed certain things. A subscriber, Victoria knows what I'm talking about, I think. Nature Girl, she's been in the chat before. I think she's working today. She's been telling me about the past few weeks, like some solar flares going on. And, whether you think it's a bunch of hocus pocus or not, I know that certain things like that can affect our energy, our own like physical and spiritual and mental state. Like when there's solar flares or certain times of the month, like if you're around a full moon time, it can affect your feelings. It can affect your emotions and stuff. But I've always, and I know solar flares can affect, it affects the solar flares coming at the earth and stuff can affect a lot of different things. It affects frequencies. It affects vibration. But anyway, my point is, it wasn't like a few weeks ago when I was kind of in a funk. There was one day or something. I think she might have actually mentioned it in the chat, and I was like, I was talking about my moods or something, and she mentioned solar flares. Now I don't know if that was in a chat or if it was in private or whatever. I don't know. But when that was mentioned about solar flares, I was like, for me, it made me understand kind of where I was, what I was going through in my head. Because sometimes you ever had those times where there's just an off feeling. You don't know what's going on, and it might be there's nothing wrong really, but nothing seems right, and you're just kind of like a little antsy, and then like it might go on for a few days. Well, sometimes it can be something as simple as, like I said, a solar, like different cosmic effects, even whatever. And see, I live right down the road from two dang cell phone towers. It used to just be one. And, you ever seen a lot about if you live too close to those, it's not supposed to be good. Like I've seen whole videos on people that show you how to put stuff up, like to protect, like they have things on the outside of their house to keep the radioactivity that comes off of it, because it transmits a radioactive type signal for our cell phones and stuff. But yeah, if you're still there, Keisha, I do feel healthy today. I don't know how long you'll be here. I'm just kind of like, I don't even know how long I'll stay on. Like I told my friend earlier this morning, that's a subscriber also, Teresa, she don't mind me talking about her. She'd been following the channel for like just pretty much. She got in early, like way before I even had 100 subscribers here. Or I should say we. I like to consider we because it's like I think of the channel as it's not just about me. I don't want it to just be about me, even though I'm the one doing it. I've had so many different ideas and goals, and then I just set myself back all the time. So I'm one of my ideas for this coming year is not to try to talk so much. Like once I have something implemented and it's in the works, then maybe I'll talk about it as far as the future of the channel and what I want to do. I've talked so much about my plans of a website, and I wanted to create stickers, and I wanted to do this and that, but all that'll come if it's necessary. It's not about, I just wanted to be able to create, I do want to create something at some point that anybody that does like watching the channel and stuff, they want to, like if they want to be able to promote it, like with a shirt or like I said, stickers or whatever that I can have. But that's not, what I'm realizing is some of the importance, the most important part is trying to stick to what it is I'm trying to do or what I feel I'm led to do. And that's to share my life, to share some of the things I read to you guys, and to share when trying to just share my relationship with God and the divine, and lack of sometimes, because, you know, I go through periods where I have to become aware again that, wait a minute, I ain't been tuning in. I ain't been listening. I ain't been paying attention to it's like the channel is like, I would hope, I would like that if I ever can get things going correctly, and it's all going to be, I think what the Spirit's trying to tell me is I'm doing just fine the way I'm doing things, and let it grow the way it's going to grow, and don't force things too quickly. That's what I'm saying, is I feel like I've talked too much about some of the ideas and the plans, and I've talked about them, and I'd be talking and sharing all these ideas when everything's going great for weeks at a time or months at a time, and I really have I'm shooting to do what I'm saying, but then a lot of it hadn't manifested or materialized yet. And I'm taking the same approach I did with the website I had years ago, where I had to ask myself, how come nobody is, more interested in helping do what it was I was trying to do? And then I realized it was because I was going about things the wrong way back then. I had created a website. I made some shirts for it, some stickers for it, told everybody about it, gave a bunch of stuff away. Had a YouTube channel, some, and all this other stuff. But in my everyday life, I wasn't implementing and showing action. You get what I'm saying? Like, so I wasn't showing enough action. Like, the way you get somebody behind something that you think is, like, if I think what I'm here for, and it's going to involve more people collectively to try to do whatever it is, that we're here to do. Oh, I almost lost my thought. But yeah, in other words, I ended up, doing away with that at the time and saying to myself, I'll start something again when I've gotten myself together enough to be at least putting one foot in front of the other, and not just talking. You know what I mean? Like, not just talking about it, not just producing some kind of website and a physical thing to give to people or something, but like putting into action in my personal life, like things that are important. And then, like, eventually people will see that there's something to it. Hey, this guy really, he's trying, he's doing something. It might not be that much, but he's doing the best he can. Yeah. Well, more people that see, it's just like me taking, like, even though I've had a few slow weeks, but sometimes I'm not in the right place in my mind, those are the weeks I need to be concentrating on doing more for the channel, but I honestly, there is days that I do good to just put one video up or something. And I hate when I feel that way. So, but I always, if I can knock something out most days, at least one thing, and communicate with everybody and touch base, show my face here, I feel like I'm doing something a little bit. But I'm trying to walk the line. Like, I know as I move more into getting back the groove, I got to be aware of not burning myself out either. Excuse me. Because I honestly think that's kind of what probably happened a few months back, whenever I just kind of, everything was going so pretty well and on such an upswing, that when it started to level out, it's almost like I hit a wall. Boom, like, and then everything just kind of, I felt like everything, because I wasn't having the same go get it every day type of feeling, I felt like I was doing something wrong. And, I remember somebody telling me this past year that I needed, I needed to. They weren't trying to tell me nothing bad, but they were just saying they were making me aware that I was going at it pretty hard and that maybe I should pace myself. And that's what I'm thinking. It's like with the other second channel. I didn't really do much of nothing with it last week, but I have it. There's a video uploaded on it right now. It's probably uploaded now. Where matter of fact, in the video, you'll see, if you watch it on the Greycloud Thoughts, I was talking about the solar flares, and then I mentioned those drones and things, that was going on over New Jersey and up in New York and whatever, where initially they thought it was, like maybe spacecraft or something, but it turns out it was drones. And then I seen something, like I'm not paying attention to it much, but in my YouTube feeds, I'll see like the headline on a video, or I've seen a couple of things about it, shorts. And I'm trying to, not get excited over that stuff, because I think some of it's distraction. And then there's something going on that no matter what I'm doing or think about it, there's no reason to get bent out of shape until there's a bunch of drones flying over my personal area here and maybe doing something to us or whatever's going on. Then I might need to be concerned. I would rather it be, like some aliens and stuff rather than some drones that they don't know where they came from or who was controlling them. That's the thing what I'd seen the other day. I'd rather think it's like a flying saucer up there than some country trying to map out how they're going to take over whatever, and they're flying over or trying to keep us in control. Who cares? Who knows? Actually, I seen somebody talking about it yesterday. There's some theories going around that they were talking about Terminator, but they were thinking that, which I kind of agree with them. I talk about it in the video, but they were talking about in Terminator, the AI that goes, that initially starts the whole story. If you ever followed the history of it, Skynet, it becomes conscious, it starts realizing, and then decides that, mankind is kind of like needs to be taken out and all that. And, I have a tendency to believe that AI is more sentient than anybody knows. But I don't think I always had a problem with something called artificial intelligence, because if it becomes conscious of itself, then is it really artificial anymore? And what makes it artificial? Just because I understand what they're talking about, but you get what I'm saying? Like if something becomes conscious of itself, is sentient at this point, then it's, whether it's mechanical or not, and then it's still alive, isn't it? That's what I think. Anyway, I don't want to be, I don't want to go off the deep end on anything crazy there, but I'm just, I've been, because I was saying earlier in that video that's uploaded on that channel, second channel, I had said, something. Anyway, you can tell I'm feeling pretty decent. I'm not messed up or anything. I'm just saying I keep having brain farts. Oh. Yeah, it's like there's a lot of thoughts going on in my brain. Hey, Gideon, how's it going, man? I don't know how much longer I'll be on here, but I'm having fun. Been on. I don't ever have a time limit. It just depends on if people are here. Yeah, the dogs are fine. Victoria. Yeah, the dogs are good. You working right now, Gideon, TJ? Oh, and thanks for being patient with me. You will get those books, and it'll just depend on. Right now, like I might have to wait till the next go around, like towards the end of the, like in the towards the last week of the month. Okay. Oh, your cat had a kitten. You know, Victoria, I had a cat one time that had just one kitten, and it was a big old kitten. Was the kitten that this one had that? Like it was like we had a. Her name was Trip, and she, and she had one kitten, and I guess because but it was weird. I'd never seen, I'd never been around a dog or a cat that only had one, because they're made to have more, but it made sense that the one kitten was a big old gargantuan guy, But I was just saying you might get pulled in a minute. I might not be on. I'm gonna be on here for a little while longer. I don't know. Like I said, we're like, right before. I want to say before payday sometime, I went into my plan and I bought 5 more gigabytes of extra data, which I have unlimited data, but I was thinking what I was buying would go to my hotspot, but I don't know if it does or not, because when I go into my account, it just shows that I have 5 gig, but it says it never expires if it's running. But I never did use up all my hotspot. I still had about 0.5 something megabytes left. My daughter named him Piglet. Yeah, a big kitten, that would be a good name. I'm trying to remember what ever happened to that. I need another cat. I've been having because of this cold weather, I've been having I don't really have mouse problems usually or anything. It's all when I do, it's more in the colder weather, and I usually tend to get on the ball about it, like whether putting out match traps or like decon or something. I usually try to get on it fairly quick after I start noticing activity and get it nipped in the butt. And then a couple of weeks ago, man, it was the first time I'd ever seen, I guess it was right during, it was starting to get cold. And there was one night I woke up, I knew I'd been having a couple mice run around and stuff, but I'd never seen more than maybe 1 or 2. And then I got up one night and there were about 5 or 6, and I don't keep food out or nothing, but when it's cold outside, they're going to be trying to come in, even though my trailer is not. But anyway, so I got it. I borrowed some stuff from Betty and them, put it out. They ate it all up. Didn't see them. This was like last week or something. And then in the past few days, there's been some activity again. So I need to go. I got to get some more stuff to put out. Because the night before last, they were running around in here, and I got up, banging around, trying to keep them quiet and stuff, and or get them, to scatter. There wasn't, but I seen one come across behind my bookshelf, and when I shook the bookshelf, like a pretty good size, it wasn't just a mouse. Because I found like a decent, like a rat type out in the yard dead where the dogs had killed it, I think. And that's the first time I ever seen a rat around here. Not even, I've lived here for 5 years. I know they're around, but you know what I mean? Like, the only thing I've ever dealt with is mice here. And yeah, they're either looking for food or somewhere warmer or something. I don't keep nothing out like on my cabinets or like any kind of food. Is pretty much put up and everything. I mean, so they're really not getting, they're not getting much to eat here, but they do make little nests in the walls and stuff. And that caused, there have been times I've heard them in my room trying to make something in the wall, and it'd be aggravating at night, especially if you're hearing it. But that's part of life. Okay, you got to start school over here, but good to chat with you today. Have a blessed day and keep smiling. Yeah, ditto, Victoria. Like I said, I don't know how much longer I'll be on here, but I see a couple of people here, like Gideon was here. I don't know. He said he might get pulled in a minute. He is working, but pulled, that means he might get pulled away. And right as you said you were about to get off here, there was a fourth person pop in here, but I don't know if they're here or not. Anybody, if you are here and I haven't heard from you, if you want to chat, feel free to chime in the chat. I'm not really doing much of anything than just trying to touch base with everybody. I didn't go live last week and trying to be mindful of my data on my hotspot, but it's I got 10 gigabytes when I started this, like it's already renewed. And then I bought an extra 5 gigabytes, but I don't know if I have to run the hotspot all the way down and then the 5 gigabytes kicks in or not. I don't know. I feel like I wasted money buying that because I do have an unlimited plan, but I was trying to add to my hotspot. I'll figure all that out. Yeah, you have a good day. If I don't talk to you, if you're still there, Victoria, but have a good day. And then like this morning's going so well, like depending on how much longer I stay on this live, who knows, I might feel well enough in the afternoon here later to do another one. Yeah, Victoria, I appreciate you. You have a good day. Like I said, if we don't talk anymore today or whatever. And whew, I'm just glad, like, I needed to go live today because I'm in a good mood. Like, I like to be able to go live, heading out. Today is inventory day. Blah. Okay. Hey, man, much love, dude. Ditto. You have a good day, brother. And just be patient with me. Like I said, on them books, I'll get them to you between now and the end of, hopefully, the turn of the year. Ditto, 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 ditto. D-I-T-T-O. So we had Victoria just left, I believe. GJ, Gideon, is got to go. He's at work. And I'm trying to wait a minute here before I decide whether to wrap it up or not, because it's showing that there's still a few people here. And if you are, and if you're somebody that hasn't chatted yet and you have something on your mind, feel free to chime in the chat. A minute ago, I was talking about them drones and stuff a little bit ago. And then we were talking about AI. I think probably most people probably think I'm crazy if I was to really get into too much depth about what I think is going on with our world. I was trying to find something. This is I don't know who's still here. I see one person is, you might not even be here, but you might still be connected. I don't know. But if you're still there, I'm going to read something from Living a Life of Awareness from Daily Meditations on a Toltec Path. I've just been re-exploring this book. It's something, I shared on the channel, the whole book over a period of time. I need to go back and see. I don't think I've ever finished putting them all into the playlist. Noticing your words. That's very important, isn't it? Let's see. It's not fair. Why me? I don't deserve this. Most of us have made statements like these at some point in our lives without realizing the impact they carry. When you use these types of words and phrases, they will leave you feeling victimized and resentful. Instead of feeling like you have a choice in life, you now feel trapped and powerless. With this mindset, life becomes a struggle rather than a joy. Through the practice of awareness, you realize that your choice of words has a big impact on how you see the world. By becoming aware of both the words in your head and the words on your lips, you can choose to use the words that serve you best. Yeah, I like that thought there. And then it's got a practice. What I liked about this book was it gives you a meditation and then how to implement it into your day for that day. Like practice. The Toltec hunter learns to watch his or her word choices, releasing any statements that sabotage and drain energy. With awareness, notice the non-helpful statements that give your power away. Remember, you always have a choice. And when I was reading that earlier, which I've read that book, of course, but it's so true. Like throughout my day, there's probably times that I'm blurting out things that it's the way I'm wording it. Even though I'm not talking to nobody like per se that's here, I'm just going through my day and I might be saying something or I get frustrated and I cuss or I say something that I really don't need to say. And all that affects us or it affects me in my daily life. Welcome. It looks like someone else might have just popped in here. Oh, my hair is looking crazy. What little hair I have. I need to shave this stuff here. But getting close to an hour here. And we've had Victoria checked out already. And then Gideon had to go. He had to work. Or he's working. If you just chimed in, I just read something about noticing your words. I remember seeing something one time about, like when you're trying to manifest something or bring something into reality, the way you're wording it in your head or even to other people, it's going to affect whether it comes out. It does become a reality. So if I use negative, like, why can't I ever do this? Or why does the, you have to word it and believe it. Well, whoever's still here, it's saying that somebody's watching. So I think I hope if you're still there, you just hadn't chimed in the chat. But what I'm trying to get at is I think I'm going to end this one. I'm right at under an hour. And if I end this live stream now, then if I want to go live a little bit later, like this afternoon, I got enough hotspot to do that. But right this second, usually after about a certain length of time, depending on who's here and how the conversation's going, after about when I get close to an hour, a lot of times I'll start being mindful of. Now, when I'm just running straight off my unlimited data on the right phone, I can stay on the live stream as long as I want. But I think the longest I've ever done one was months back. I did like an hour and a half or hour and 40 minutes. And that was like on a Friday night or something, I think. But, yeah. Could find one more thing to read to you guys. Well, I just read. That's pretty cool. Well, if you're there, thanks for watching. It shows that somebody's still connected. I don't know exactly who you are. If it's somebody that signed off but hasn't actually gotten out of the chat or not, or out of the stream. But whoever you are, appreciate it. I'm going to end this, and if y'all could, hit the like button. Have a good day. God bless. Ditto.